this is a trade I want to learn, and then start my own business, and build my own empire. So that's exactly what I've done.
A lot of people didn't make that jump.
I'm looking forward to waking up that morning with a millionaire.
Like if the phone never rang for a month, then we'd probably be pretty screwed.
That drive to that job, I'm like, I just want to do a U and go somewhere else.
When you're a business owner, like you finish at Friday, all your staff all go home and you go. Hi guys, welcome back to Taylor Talks Trades. I'm your host, Jamie Taylor. Thank you for joining me today, and remember to hit subscribe so you can help us grow the channel and bring you more episodes like this. Today I'm joined by Aidan Woodbridge from Woods Garden Developments. This episode's a little different from our usual interviews. Aidan's at an exciting stage with his landscaping business and talks through some of the challenges and goals he's working on right now. By default, this became a little bit of a mentoring session, and I was offering some support and advice and tips to Aidan. Let's get into the show. Hi Aidan, welcome to the show, mate.
Cheers, Jamie. Good to be on.
I'll start where I always start. How did you get into the trades, mate?
I started off, I was actually, see COVID, the lockdown happened, and I was a coordinator for a care at home business. Right. I can't work from home. Like, I can't do it. So as I was working from home, I was doing the garden, back garden, building a patio. I phoned my mate who's a landscaper, and I was like, do I give him a hand? So he comes out, I start getting into landscaping with him, and then I googled the best landscaping company in Edinburgh. So phoned him, and he was like, aye, come out, you start Monday. I was like, I've never done landscaping before me. So I went out, and I was right for the start was, this is a trade I want to learn.
Yep.
And then start my own business and build my own empire. So that's exactly what I've done.
So did you know that right for the start, that you wanted to do it for yourself?
So when I was doing I was a chubby guy. When lockdown hit, as you can imagine, I was put on the beef. I think I was about 14 stone.
Right.
So I was like, landscaping's the way to go. I'm burning off this fat. It's working. I'm loving this. So I just stuck at it. That's where the motivation came from. So it was good for the mind. And it's just, you're outdoors all the time.
Yep.
So it was kind of my passion from there on out. Brilliant.
Sounds good. And so before times to that, was there any like inclination that trades was going to be for you, or like?
No, really, no.
Literally just
literally lockdown happened, and I was like, I'm doing my mum's garden here.
Yep.
I mean, her pergola is still standing, and it is a shambles. I put the posts in, and then I cut all the posts at different heights for this roof. Didn't they use a string line or nothing? And it still stands. She's proud of it. She's like, I love it. No take it down. You're no rebuilding it. So there it is.
Oh well, there you go. So what does the landscaping, like, is that an apprenticeship, or is that you just like you sort of pick it up and you learn all the wee individual bits? How did that?
I went in as a labourer.
Yep.
And I was like, wait, I'll do mixes. I'll learn to do a mix. And then I was watching how the slabs were going down, and then I jumped on the woodwork, and then somebody was nipping at the toilet, and I was like, I'm laying a slab this time. So I would just jump on the patio, and then I was just keen, just kept going and going. Done maybe 3 years, and then I was like, right, time to go, time to start my business.
That's quite fast as well.
It was just overtime. I was working maybe 7 days a week.
Yep.
I maybe have the odd weekend off, but it was pretty rare, rare. But it's just a drive. You just got to think of the end goal.
No, that's good. And so the 3 years just passes by just like that, and then you just went for it yourself.
Well, the missus fell pregnant.
Right.
And I was like, never. Like, I just need to go for it. It was probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've done, like,
yeah,
because I've got a baby on the way. I've got bills to pay, got a mortgage. But she's pretty well off money-wise, so it was like, if I've not got a lot coming in, we can make it by. So we kind of risk assessed it. But it was a big jump.
So there was a bit of a comfort blanket as such, but
it was one of the ones. It was like, if it comes to that, we're going to be skin and scraping here.
Yeah.
Like, but we will get by. Mm-hmm. But it's never got to that. It was literally gave my boss his notice. Yeah. And it was like, I started filling that diary. Aye. And it was just like, oh wow, this is going so well. As soon as I started, it just kept going and going. The calendar kept filling up. It was brilliant.
Where do you think that comes from? That, how do you think that happens? Because my story is basically identical to that.
Well, see, when I first started filling that calendar, I used like my builder and things like that just to get in the door.
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
And then from there, every person it was a recommendation.
Yeah.
It was like every call that was coming through was heard good things. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's where it just
Yeah.
grew, the reputation.
It makes sense. Like that's probably what I done, because I was reflecting on this the other day, and like I did a year's labouring with a roofing company, because I was like searched everywhere for an apprenticeship and couldn't get one. It contacted every company in West Lothian, and two came back. One was like a bricklayer, one was a roofing company. The bricklaying guy was like, look, it'll not be an apprenticeship, but you would get a trade if it'll not be an apprenticeship, but you'll learn the trade. I'll pay, I think it was like 200 quid, 250 quid, which was quite good money back then, to be honest. And the other guy was like, it'll be a roofing apprenticeship, but you would need to prove yourself for a year first, because we just didn't take people on that's just going to no stick it. And I was like, and that was like a lot less money, but I was like, oh, I really want a trade, I really want a qualification at the end of it, I want to really have something. So I chose the roofing one, but I had to do that year first, and I was a wee bit annoyed about that. I felt like I was against time because I'd wasted a year labouring, but it was actually a great year's labouring. Then I went to college the following year because I'd proved myself. But long story short, I did I think it was like 7 years with him. So it was like 1 year labouring, the 4-year apprenticeship, then like the 2 years on my own. And then I just did what you did. Like my missus was pregnant. Like,
oh really? So identical story. Like, that's weird. That's weird.
I had 2 stepkids so my wife's previous relationship, she already had 2 young ones. So like it wasn't like we didn't have kids, but like we were already
in a position where
we were already kind of up against it anyway. And I'd been on the apprentice wages and all of that, and I was just getting to a time where I was starting to get the tradesman money. And but I was like, I'm not going to have a really good life here. Like I need to somehow earn more. So I think a lot of it came for the earning side. And then I was a bit like that, same as you, like my wee boy was just born, I think, in the July. So he's 12 now, he'll be 13 soon, same age as the business basically. And I was just like, I need to do this. And so that's how I'm like going, how's your story? So
that's very weird.
But I think that's maybe we just change in that moment, like something goes, I need to make this better for me and my family, and I'm just going to
you just get that drive.
And then like the first roof that I replaced, and this is what I was reflecting on the other day, I was like, that was the first roof I ever replaced on my own, was for my own company. So even though I'd been with that company 7 years, I'd always had like another tradesman there, or I was with someone like the same sort of maybe level as me, or maybe like 1 year above me, and they're like, you know, I was maybe like a 3rd year apprentice and they're a 4th year apprentice, and we're replacing a roof, but like never totally just me. So I went from that to then like, oh, actually I need to like find a scaffolder to put that scaffold up. I need to order the materials myself. I need to actually teach my little brother this. He was just turned 16 and just came on board, and it's like, so I couldn't turn to him and say, what do you think of this bit?
That's wild.
Like, on me. It was, and that was quite scary. But what I was kind of, when you said you went through that, you did the 3 years and then you just got gone with it. Like for me, I'm thinking, I think that is the way to do it.
Yep, just bite the bullet. Just go for it.
Learn on the job.
But
there's a difference between you're learning on the job and like you can't just wreck you can't make the mistakes on the customers stuff. But if you get like, you just need to find a way to make sure you get it done right. So I would do things where like, if I took a job on, because I had to take on anything that would come in, like I was maybe using my builder, or we maybe were in the local courier at the time or something like that. But like when somebody phoned and there was a job, like you didn't know when the next one was coming. So I was like, I'll take that on. But I'd maybe never done it before. And I was like, I understand obviously, but I've maybe done it at college, but I've never maybe done that job or whatever. So I would just like see some of my old tradesmen or things like that. I would just phone them and say, you want to come out and work with me this weekend? And that's good. And they would help me, but I would like sort of almost labour to them in my own business, learning.
That's good though, eh?
But like the customers getting a really good job. Do you know, they were getting a really good job, and that probably wouldn't, like back then I would have been super cheap as well. I was probably too cheap. You're probably too cheap now as well. Do you know, it's like we start like
see that. Looking back on that first job,
you're
like, what? Like my first job was a big job because it came in and I was like, I'm not letting this go. I'm taking that. So it was a lot of like back and forward haggling. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, I'm taking it. So and it was one of the ones that was like 230 square metre of grass, and then there were about 80 square metre of porcelain, and then porcelain up the walls, porcelain pathways. and it was just hardcore. It was mental.
What a job to get
I
you going.
by myself. And I was like,
That's what makes you though.
honestly, see the amount of times I was like, I could greet.
Yeah.
This is hard going. Like,
Oh, I mind that. I mind that so many times.
And see that-
being on a roof and just gone.
and trying to get off the
looking
job.
up to the sky, like,
See, trying to get off the job, trying to get it done, and you're like, I'm so close, but this is taking me so long. And it's like you're driving away for the job, never got it done today. And you're gutted.
I remember ones like that where like we were getting all these little jobs, and that was where my sort of smaller ones, like my start of my workload was all smaller stuff, and I was like, oh, this is nice and easy.
Yeah.
Go there, spend a wee half day or a day there, then on to the next one, and maybe price a wee job in between, and
Yeah.
you're kind of, it's quite easy, was it? Then I was like, we need some bigger jobs, and then we got like I think one of our kind of first kind of bigger jobs was like 2 roofs to replace, but like next door to each other, plus rough casting them, and it was quite a big undertaking, and like we were just there for weeks.
It's daunting.
And it was like, oh man, it was just like, I want to be away from here. And then you wanted back to the smaller jobs, then you got the smaller jobs, then you're like, oh, I wish I was on a job for a couple of weeks. It's like, you can never find that right.
I'm actually in
right
that
balance.
I'm in that position right now.
Yep.
I took this job on, and it was like, it's going to take me about 3 months.
Yep.
It's a massive project.
Wow.
And it's now at the point, like, we're getting close to the finish line, but it's like, hurry up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not over the deadline yet.
Yeah.
But it's getting to that point. I've been on there for that long.
Yeah.
That drive to that job, I'm like, I just want to do a U and go somewhere else.
I get it. And I think the customers at a point as well, they just get a bit antsy as well. It's like,
well, the client I'm working for just now, like, I'll never get a better client.
Yep.
Like, see, going and pricing the job, I was like, well, what are you looking for in the space? No bother. I was like, what's your budget? I was like, all right, I'll tell you what, I'll come with a plan. I'll pitch it to you and we'll talk about the price. He was like, right. So I was like, sunken in fire pit, seating area, sauna in the bottom corner. We'll have an outdoor kitchen, bar and a pergola. We'll do your whole driveway, porcelain patio, full length steps. I like it. So we went with the price, gave him the price, and he was like, yep. I was like, what?
That's like, if you could just have them clients all the time.
It's unbelievable. And it's like, the lunch day, coffee's coming out, and he's bringing you a steak sandwich. And I was like, didn't want this job to end.
It's so just saying you're what idea. You turn away.
I know. But see, now that I see that sauna in the bottom corner, I'm like, I just want to jump in it.
That's brilliant. It's one of them where you get to a point where, like, in the beginning, you're sort of, like you said, the my builder thing, like, that's predominantly known for, it's probably going to be people who's looking for a cheaper job. And they're kind of just like, look, everybody on here should be vetted by my builder, so I'll just go with the cheapest one because the 5 of them are vetted anyway or whatever.
There's a lot of back and forward with these sort of clients. It's like, you're then trying to compromise. So you're like, oh, well, why don't we change the material? Like, you want the best of the best, but unfortunately.
Whereas unfortunately, the like, I would call that customer there like an A customer. Like, I went through this exercise with somebody one time, but it was like, A customers like awesome, B's are like the bread and butter, so they're not quite got the unlimited budget, and like, just you have, like, you do you basically, but they're sort of, they're there or thereabouts. Then the C's probably more like, could be better, and then the D's just almost like the dud. And
I like that.
And that's, I went through that wee exercise with a mentor that I worked with, and he was like, see that customer you're talking about there, if you could fill your order book with them all the time, like, you'd probably have quite a unique, solid wee business where maybe you would be stuck there for 3 months. But do you know, like that guy told me, like, start to market your business for them people. You'll still get some of these other ones, but through time you can start to let these ones go. Because in the early days we had like, we were too cheap, so we were attracting like cheap customers, if that makes sense, or people who that's what they valued. Whereas when we looked more at, like, we're going to give a really good service, we're going to up our quality, we're going to, like, do everything the best and actually quite quick as well. So we had like a good efficient model. Then we kind of carved our space out in the market for that. And then I think now, like, we're probably more of a premium service, the roofing business, but I would say that it's probably really, really built on like that trust and reliability, and, you know, new, like, maybe being on the TV and having the YouTube channels and the podcasts and all the different stuff. It probably, like, gives people that sort of trust where they're like,
Definitely.
You're everywhere. Like, you're obviously no shy of putting your work out there and what you're about.
100%.
So I think through time you can kind of build that. But definitely in those early days, like, you could be like an A customer here, but then next week you're just on a D. And you're like, I'd love to just go, no, but
it's hard. But
it's
it's see, because I'm booked up that much now.
yeah.
I can now pick.
Aye.
But a lot of the calls are come out and see my job, and you go out and it's not much.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to fill my calendar for that.
Aye.
So you like knocking them back, but
Landscaping's hard as well, in a sense that, like, to actually from like starting, like from the initial visit to actually getting on site, because like people sometimes they don't know what they want, and then you're going to have all this whole design process, and they'll maybe go back and forward, and
that's something that I'm looking into just now. Like I'm working with designing on a project that's coming, and it's so much better because there's a little less of that going back and forward. The client can get a visual on their garden before it's even touched. So
that's where I'm saying, like, the A client is great, because if he's like, well, you come up with it, you tell me the best materials to use, and like, basically, like, if his budget sounded like it was no unlimited, but it wasn't almost.
It was like he just wanted the best out of the space. Aye. And material wise as well, he wasn't even like, I was like, I'll bring up some samples. So I brought them up, and he's like, yep, like it, that's fine. Yeah. And then same where, like, I was building archways, and it's got LEDs in them. Yeah. And he comes back from work, he's like, didn't know I was getting them. They're really nice. I was like, ideal. I'm glad you like them.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And then, so what sort of, so you've got moving with things there. You were working on your own to start with. What was the progression of that? You've now got somebody on board helping you out. Like, it's
just with the job's getting bigger and more demand. It's like, there's no way I can do it myself anymore. Yeah. Like, absolute zero. And I want to spend more time with the family as well. So I want to get my weekends back a little bit. So my mate who I was working with before, he was at me going, do you want to take me on? And I was like, I really wanted to, and it was an ongoing process. It was like, it's a big risk. Taking someone on, it's a massive risk. Yeah. But again, you just got to go for it. Yeah. Like, same as starting a business, you've just got to go for it. So I done that. That's when I went limited with the company as well. Well, kind of had to at that point as well. So went limited, but it's just the stress of getting everything in order. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Getting everything, all the books sorted and your receipts and stuff like that. But
it becomes a bit more real.
Yeah. It feels like you're no
now.
That's exactly. Like, I was working myself.
At the beginning, you're almost like, oh, I could just jump back and get a job if this doesn't really quite like work out. But then you start to bring people in. There's a bit of accountability now. You're like in charge of other people's.
The rain comes down. I used to go out, right, I'm away, get a roll. Yeah. See, now I'm like, right, I better keep working.
No, definitely. I relate to everything you're saying. That was the exact same journey as me. I took my brother on, and he was going to go and do like his apprenticeship. Well, he did go and do his apprenticeship. I didn't really take into account that the 2 weeks, then he would be away 2 weeks at a time at college. So I was like, oh, that means I'll be myself. And like roofing, you can do it yourself, but you really probably shouldn't. And to be honest, it probably just isn't really safe. No. Like, even if you're just going up on a roof, like, you probably need somebody holding a ladder and that. Do you know, it's just like wee things like that. It's not that every job you're only on a ladder. You'll have scaffolding things, but it was so like straight away I was like, oh, I'm going to combat that somehow. Yeah. And it was the same idea as what you said. It was like my mate who I used to, like, we did our apprenticeship together at another company. And he was at me, he wasn't happy where he was, and take me on. And I'm like, oh, he doesn't realise how big a deal this is for me. He's just like, take me on. And
just take me on, didn't worry about it. I'm like, but you're like, you've got to think as well, I'm taking the big risk here. Yeah. But you're also my mate. I don't want to ruin that.
I know. And to be honest, like, that friendship for me is ruined now. Me and him got 9 years down the line, and it never worked out. So it's
hard though,
it's painful. Do you know, I look at that and I go, the business vision I had, where we needed to take everything, meant that certain people probably weren't going to go the full journey with me. And like, that's because I changed as well. Yeah. Like, I don't know if they changed or they just stayed the same, but the people that's kind of went the full way on the journey with me, it's like, I didn't look at that and go, oh, you weren't good enough, or it was this. It's just like, the business just has like it just became a big kind of animal, like, and it was just,
You grow with the business
you
as well,
just
though.
had to, like, you just have to keep the reins on it somehow. And if other people aren't then capable of sort of doing that way at that time, you've just got to move and adapt fast. And I think that's maybe something that maybe doesn't get spoke about enough, actually, is that the fact that how quite big your business can go quite fast as well. Because like when I'm like reflecting a wee bit on my own journey, because you're kind of talking my journey a wee bit as you're saying it, because it was very similar. Like Mrs. was pregnant, just started up, right, okay, just took somebody on to help me. Like that happens quite naturally. And then like the position that I was in was, so I started, I think it was 2013. By 2016, maybe, well, if we go to 2017, I was close on about 18, 20 staff. So like
that's fast.
So it went quite. It was like I think the first year was 3 of us. So it was like me and my wee brother. Then took the mate on.
Yep.
So there was like 3 of us, and then we would get like a wee like extra hand, a wee bit of labour here and there, like sort of, you know, we just have like young lads who maybe giving us a hand and things like that. We didn't really need somebody full time, but then as that was building, you were like, oh, now we need another one. And then we were kind of, then I got like a second van, and I was like pricing jobs, doing smaller jobs, leaving my brother and my mate on jobs. And then like, so we'd be doing like, you know, it'd be starting to naturally grow. And then before you know it, like, but because it's so tight and the culture's great and we're all getting on and we're all working hard, like, you're doing that job, customers delighted, you're on to the next one. You're doing that job, customers delighted, you're on to the next one. So they're phoning their friend, and then recommendation. Now all of a sudden everybody wants to use you
because they'll be buzzing as well.
Yeah, and then we're like, I'm going out, and then I'm like, I'm spending like majority of my time just pricing now. I'm like every night I'm out pricing, every weekend I'm out pricing. And every quote I send, everybody's like, yep, when can you do it? And I'm like, oh, like we're booked up for like a year.
That's amazing.
And then like, do you know, and at one point I think we were booked up for like 18 months. It was just wild.
Ridiculous.
And that's people waiting on a roof. People didn't wait at Taylor roofs for that long. Like, do you know, see if we're like, we can't get to it within like 12 weeks, they're like, nah, we'll just get somebody else. Yeah. So it's like, but people were just willing to wait at that point. And, but then I sort of, like it was like, the order book was full. But like we weren't making any money. So it felt as though like I was just running around in circles and doing all this work, but like
it wasn't going anywhere.
Pricing, I was doing this, and I was like, but we're actually not making any money. We're building a great reputation, but we just weren't making money. And then when I was looking at like the 18 months, like I think this was maybe around the time I was working with this mentor, but he was like, why don't you just put your prices up? And if that 18 months goes to like a year, then surely that's better. And I was like, oh, I never really thought about it like that. So I put the prices up, and then the forward order book just started coming down. But then I was like, then I found like a sort of a range where I'm like, right, I'll probably always be busy for like 6 months at a time. Yeah. And then I was like, and then I just started being like, right, I can be busy for like that team, and I'll price in between. Mm-hmm. And then just your costs add and stuff. And then you're like, we'll need another team. And then you like need more. And it's chicken and egg, but it does tend to, I think a lot of trades business owners probably just wake up one day and go, well, I've got like £1 million company. What just happened there?
It just happens overnight.
Like maybe.
Well, I'm looking forward to that, waking up that moment, by the way.
Well, you'll probably give me a phone like, what did you do at that? What did you do at that bit? Because it's.
What's your mentor's number?
It's mental. But I think it is just, I'm not saying trades is easy because it's actually hard, but like, see if you actually build a vision, and you go, that's where I actually want to go to. I did another thing was, I'm almost getting you a wee mentor session here, but it's just because I'm
enjoying that.
Just because I'm reflecting. But I read a book called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone.
You need to send me that.
All right, and so basically you start where you are there, and his whole mantra is just 10x it 10 times. So you sort of go, right, if you're £1 million business, it's like, right, what would a £10 million business look like? And then you go, right, well, I'm $1 million here, and I've maybe got like this amount of vans, this amount of guys, I've got maybe a wee unit or a wee premises or whatever. And then you just go, right, those amount of vans would now be 10 times that amount. These people would be 10 times that amount. And it just expands your mind.
Yeah.
And you start to look at it and you're like,
makes sense.
All right. And then you're like, and you actually just start to like imagine and sort of sit with the idea of, could I have a company at 10 million? How many people would be in that?
Yeah.
How many surveys would we be doing every week? Like what would our quote conversion, sales conversion need to be?
Yeah.
This will be things that you'll probably not look at now, because you'll just price a job and you'll just probably win it or no win it. Then you'll get another. Like it'll fill itself by default almost. And there'll be times where you maybe drop the ball, like you maybe go on holiday, come back, you never priced for them 2 weeks you were away, and now like in 6 weeks' time you're now going to feel the pain of that. But that's just like, whereas now, like me having like a multi-million pound business, like you kind of see that those trends on paper and you know, right, oh, we didn't do that amount of surveys last week, we'll really need to like get more surveys in the following weeks and do double somewhere. Or so you're tracking and measuring everything, which, and that's where it sort of flips. But that was a big one for me, the 10x rule, because it was almost like, oh, just expand that thinking.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because
it's a good way to
well,
think.
you know how hard it is, like just being yourself, like working in those gardens, and even now, just you and like your mate working in those gardens. So it'd be hard for your mind to probably contemplate, oh, imagine I had like 20 guys or whatever.
It's not something that crosses my mind. There's far too much crossing my mind now.
Yeah.
Trying to
but
get...
it's cause you're in there. Aye. But what happens is, like, when you realise, right, like if you were going to have 20 guys, just say, right, you then go, oh, well, who would I need to become then? You're not going to be on the tools likely. Yeah. And then that's a whole like identity shift where you're like,
I'm then in the office, I've got more time for quotes. Yeah. I'm going out and seeing clients. There's a lot
of people can't lay down like that identity, and that was something I had to do as well, where I actually had to like, I was working so hard at becoming like the best roofer. I'm like, my goal will be like the best ever roofer kind of thing.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Do you know what I mean? And then I had to almost like take that costume off and lay it down there and be like, that roofer's like a sleeping giant now. Like I can't learn anything else about roofs. I now need to learn marketing, sales. I'm not going to say accountancy, but finances. Yeah. So like, you know, you're then going, right, I need to learn this stuff, and then you become a novice at that. Yeah. And then you look over here and you actually want now the guys that work for you to be like better roofer than you ever were.
Never thought about that.
You know,
I actually never thought about
it. And that is, a lot of people didn't make that jump. Yeah. They just cannot, like, I'm saying lay down the costume, but it's almost like laying down the sword and the shield as well.
See, I never had that ambition of, like, eventually, I do want to come off the tools, but there'll always be a wee part of me that's going, I want to go back to detailing. Aye. So, like, I would like to keep that wee free space that I can always go back and go, I'm going to do something crazy with porcelain. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, I totally know what you mean. It's the biggest hurdle. It is the biggest hurdle. And it's one of these things where, like, I'm just planting these wee seeds now for you, so that, like, as you're kind of plodding along on that journey,
I'll go, can I do that?
Aye, so it's that. But so I think now, like I was saying, sort of my wee bit journey there, like that year labouring, 4-year apprenticeship, 2 years then like as a tradesman with that company, and then when I started up on my own, I think it was probably two years, maybe pushing 3 years at most. And then at that point, like, I was starting to see, like, I'm pricing all the time, like, I'm hardly on the tools anymore now. But I was doing what you said there. I was like, but I still want to take that back in. I'm still Jamie Taylor, the roofer. Like, I'll do that wee hard bit, you know, and I'd nip it to the job and, like, guys, I'll get that bit.
You get a thrill for it though, don't you?
Because you love it. It's your trade. Like, you've spent, well, that's 7 years
learning. It's a passion.
Do
you know what I mean?
And it's,
you take a lot of pride in your work.
And see, when you're doing all this stuff here that's like quoting, estimating,
that's background
clients, and you do all of that, like, that's quite hard because it's a new skill for us. So then when you jump back and you're like, you fix a roof, you're like, oh, that is like, it's a wee comfort zone in a way as well.
Quoting and the admin side is where I fall. It's just, see that hurdle in your mind is like, sit there with a computer. I don't know what to be sitting there.
It's got to take hours as well.
Yeah, and you know it's taking up a lot of time. Yeah. And if you don't do it, you're going to suffer mentally because you're going to be like, it's constantly there. You'll be doing a garden or doing your
trying to lay a slab and like a quote's whirring.
You're like, I've laid that slab upside down. It affects your whole week if you've not caught up on that quote. So
I think as well, like, I think there's something in us. I don't know if it's a trades thing or if it's like a man thing. I actually don't know, but like, there's this thing about being done. finished.
Aye.
And see, when you become a business owner, like, you can never be finished. You can't get to the end of the week and go, that's my work done.
It's unsatisfying, though, isn't it?
Whereas when you work for somebody, you can sort of finish on the Friday. Oh, good hard work.
Yeah.
Like hard working weekend there. Proud of my efforts.
And you off.
Paid my money. It's now my weekend.
And you shut off and you relax.
Whereas when you're a business owner, like, you finish that Friday, all your staff all go home and you go, I'm going to price like an animal all week.
Yeah.
All weekend, sorry.
Aye.
And you're thinking, right, Friday night I'll be quoting, Saturday I'll be peace because the guys will all be in the house. I'll no need to worry about them. So, like, I'm out doing visits, and my sales conversion was always better. Like on a Saturday, see if I'd go and see somebody needing the roof replaced on a Saturday, I'd be like, oh, it just didn't feel like work anymore. Because through the week was like the chaos, the fires, like, this job's gone wrong, that's happening, this material hasn't showed up, that's happened. Because construction is hard, it's like all the time.
Trying to organise it.
So, like, a nice wee visit out to somebody on a Saturday morning to see their roof and go, just throw the tape over that into their attic, up on the roof, measure it all up, say to them, like that just became...
You're a new person.
Wasn't it work, that? I loved that. And then that skills as well. So then, like, now we've got, like, roof surveyor estimators that go out and do all of that.
All right.
So that was another, like, lay the identity down. Right, now actually our forward order book isn't even in control of me. I'm not in control of that anymore.
You're just on podcast now, mate.
Podcast duties. So you're then actually going, because you become really good at that as well. You know, it's like I sort of laid down that identity of being a roofer to be like, no, I need to be like a businessman. But what actually happens is you didn't become a businessman overnight. You first need to become like a salesman. You actually need to become a marketer and a salesman. So you need to go, I need to be the face and be the one responsible to build this brand that makes people phone the company, send us inquiries, and actually want to do business with us. And then I need to go and deliver that job and go and deliver a service to give them that quote. And then you need to deliver the job as well. And that's where, again, it's like, as you scale and you just feel it coming, you go, you end up not getting back to people, or you go out to visit, but like 3-4 weeks later you've still not sent them a quote, and they're chasing you, like, I will get to you, I'm just so busy. And like, to me, I started all of this on the basis of customer service. So when I started feeling like that was letting down,
you feel like you're letting yourself down. I'm the same.
I was like, nah, I can't do that. And that's when we started to actually, like, we brought in our first ever full-time surveyor, and he would just go out like 40 hours a week, looking at the jobs, seeing what the customer's needs were, quoting it, estimating it. We built systems and processes in the back end, and we'd have everything all documented. So when it was like the job was won, it then could get passed to the guys with like photos, materials that's needed.
That's brilliant.
Like method statements, everything that was to be done, all the wee customer notes of, they asked for this when I was there as well. Or
that would be so good for the staff as well. That would be so good for the boys doing it.
I think like, if you were to ask our staff, they'd probably be like, the surveyor doesn't give us enough information.
It's the same with designers as well. Like, see if I get a designer doing the garden, their measurements are never 100% accurate. Yeah, you can't really go back to them and be like, that's shocking. Do you know what I mean?
I know. And it's like one of these things where, if you like, so my guys, like back in the day when I maybe had, say, like half a dozen before we really started scaling up, like, I didn't have them systems and processes in place. I would just say, look, you're going to this job, this is sort of what it involves. Yep. Like, once you get there, if there's any issues, just give me a phone. Like, that's super vague. So, like, what we've got now compared to that is like night and day a difference. But, like, back then, like, those guys never knew any difference. So they were just like, that's fine. Whereas our guys now, like, they're on PDAs. So we've got like tablets that they can go in, they can get all the photos of the job, all the information, see the quote that the customer's basically been sent, like all the wording, so they can go, right, that matches up to what we're doing. I guess, like, being honest, like, a lot of them probably didn't even go into it. They probably just phone and say, what's happening with this?
That's insane, though. That's brilliant.
It is, but we're at a place now where, like, that's just expected, if that makes sense. Yeah. And we're a wee bit we're dearer than what the Jamie Taylor back here 10 years ago would have been. So it's now Taylor Roofs, and it comes with all that stuff. So people expect that as well. And
you're a brand.
People expect that. But that was just a wee bit of just went off on a wee bit of a tangent there. But it's just, I guess like, I'm probably what I was doing is relating to what where you're at
Where
in
I've
your
came from,
journey,
aye.
and then just like I'm probably just doing a wee mentoring session for you and just marking out some of the bits because that will come.
It's going to be a journey.
It'll
The
just
journey's only just started,
Aye,
and it's already like it's brilliant. I'm loving it.
aye, it's good. And what's happening like the now then? Where is it? Where are you at right now? Like what's the things that? So you've came into this industry. You're quite new to it. Well, your company's new, and like what's the things that you're doing different? Like what's going to set you apart? Like what's
It's more like it is the
Yep.
detailing on jobs. So like we'll bullnose porcelain tiles for steps, or we might cut them. Like I done floating porcelain steps for this client, and we put LEDs, so all the steps were made out of porcelain. But
I seen it on your Instagram.
they looked like they were
That was
floating.
cool.
That was brilliant. It was one of the the idea was there in my head, and I was like, I'll make it work because he didn't even ask for floating porcelain steps. I pitched it and went, I'll make it work, and it worked. It's brilliant, and that's kind of where I'm at. I'm always challenging myself. So I'm going to another job, and I'm like, right, what can I do differently that I've not seen before? So, for example, like I don't know if you've seen it. It was the posts, but it's like an archway.
I'm not sure.
I put it on TikTok, so it was like
Is this the ones that you were painting black? No.
Aye.
Aye.
So
right, I
they-
seen
they
some
were-
of the video, but I can't remember if
they
I
were
seen.
torched.
Aye,
They were burnt, and it's called yakasugi,
aye, I did see
and it's
that.
like to prevent the wood from like rotting over
Yeah.
the years. It looks nice as well.
Yep.
So we're doing archways. That was the initial plan. So it was going to be timber, mitre, timber, and back down
Yeah.
and run an LED strip. So I put the first post in, then put the top in, and I was like, I like that. That's staying. I will no bother putting the other side in. I'll just
Right.
leave it like a lamppost look,
All right,
and it looks brilliant.
Wow.
So it's like every job I'm doing, I'm trying to do something that's never been done
Aye.
before.
You're actually like that. Oh, I've only ordered 2 posts. And I'm like, "Got 3 that'll do."
That'll do. I'm not digging any more holes.
Client likes it, but that's
That's the
No.
thing. Yeah, I messaged him. I was like, "Let me know what you think. I'll see you tomorrow. If you want another posting, happy to do it." That was the original plan.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't know. It just looks a bit unfinished. I was like, "Well, I'll do a wee route around the edges.
Yeah.
And finish it off." And he was like, "That'll look brilliant." So he's absolutely loving it now.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good. It's just I'm trying to. Every job I go to, it's something different, especially with porcelain, because I think for the year and a half that I've been in business, I've done one job that is sandstone. The rest has been porcelain.
Yeah.
The porcelain's the way to go now, and it's like you can get creative with it. And
Yeah.
all porcelain's different. You can get texture stuff. You can get stuff that looks like sandstone, limestone. So you've kind of got a great market there, like, and it's just good to work with.
Why is it so popular? And is it a new thing that's popular as well?
It's easy to maintain.
Right.
So like it's not porous.
Yep.
Like sandstone, if it gets moss on it, it's going to go green.
Yeah.
And over the years, it's just not going to hold its own. Whereas porcelain, it's not going to absorb any moisture.
Yeah. So that finish on the top's quite like glossy almost.
Aye, well, you get
Aye.
different finishes.
Yep, yep.
Different finishes. But it's so easy to clean. A wee quick power wash or even a brush and sort of a hose
Yep.
does it.
And landscaping in itself is like it's getting harder, I would say, like because of Instagram.
Oh yeah,
Same
100%.
with bathrooms. Like,
Oh, I've seen the bathroom ones.
bathrooms people are doing now as well.
Wild.
Like, wow. Like, and I think
It's the expectation now. Like people are going crazy
Yeah.
on detailing.
you're seeing like these curves and like you're just seeing.
Like you go and see
some
clients and they go,
faces.
I've watched this video, and you're like, oh, let's have a look, and you're like, are you serious? I can't do that.
Aye.
But I
I
like
don't think you would ever say that.
no,
I think you'd be like, oh, aye, we can do
I
that.
could do that. I'll make it work
Figure it out later on.
and spend hours head scratching it.
Aye.
But
That's
there's
the
like
way to do
there's a guy down South Broadlands, Landscape Broad, Ben Broad or something he's called,
it. All right.
and he is next level. Like
Yep,
the stuff
I'll
that he
check him
does, the stuff that he does is just unbelievable. So that's I've been watching his videos.
So you can get inspiration there.
He kind of he's set the bar
Yep.
really, really high. And a lot of people are at the point where they're like, that's too high. I'm not touching that.
And so so his business as such then is he just like himself and he'll do all of that?
That's his niche.
quality?
That's his niche. I think he's done some work on his house and stuff. It's like so a lot of the detailing he does is on the side
Yeah.
just for content.
Ah, right, okay.
But I think he gets a lot of work
Yeah.
just from how creative he is
Yeah.
with porcelain.
No, it's interesting. And do you see that being like your niche is like to double down on that?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that, like I said to you earlier on, I think that's where I want to be. So like further down where there is a point I can come off the tools a bit,
Yep.
I would like to focus on the detailing.
Yep.
And start marketing that to customers and clients, saying
Yep.
like, what about if we done this?
Yep.
And just to give them that option of it's going to look insane.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
how do you then overcome the, like, obviously there's a bit of a skill shortage now. Like, how do you get those skills to somebody if you did have to come off the tools, but you're given that?
It's hard. It's probably just have somebody by your side constantly.
Yeah. Just teach somebody
yeah,
up properly.
Like, right by your side. This is how you do it.
Yep.
A lot of it's trial and error though.
Yeah.
A lot of it, like you build something, you go, that didn't really work. Right, I'm going to strip that back and redo it.
Yep. That was something. So I'm part of like the West Lothian Construction Forum, and one of the landscaping guys that's on there, he was saying like the issue that he finds is that like when they're taking on apprentices and stuff, like it's expensive mistakes to teach them. So like they're like, right, you try this, but if they get it wrong, like those materials are expensive. So it's like you're then pulling it back, like what you're saying there. Like
porcelain's hard to cut. It chips. You've got to use the right tools and you've got to be steady.
Yeah, I remember that with like the roofing. Like I was always of that. Like, you know, I would come off the roof. I'd be like, I'm not sure about that. Right, I'll go into the scaffold, have a look at it for that angle. Like, you're having a look, and you're like, nah, I'm taking that back off. And it's just
it's
like,
an argument with yourself, though, isn't it? Because you're like, all it do is going to be all right. And then you're like, that's in the back of your mind. No.
You're like, I think as soon as you're saying that, you're like, no, it's not right then.
No, exactly.
Because you're like, you're questioning it.
If you ever have to question it, you have to go back and sort it. Do you know what I mean? And it's costly to go back and sort it. So you might as well just sort it right there.
Whilst you're there. And I think that's the joy of being smaller.
Yeah.
As well. Like if you're doing all the jobs, then
I'm on it. I'm there. I know the quality.
That is the big hurdle when you try and probably scale and grow things out. You've then got to have like sort of, I guess for us, like nowadays we've got like a system that works where if something like somebody might just go, we're just going to leave that, you know, and then we've got to then have a whole process where the client might phone up and say, look, I'm not too sure about this, and then we need to send out like our most experienced tradesman or a contracts manager or something and say, go and have a look and see if it is actually to the quality that we would expect. And if it's no, you just got to change it
up
and sort it, and it's just the way it is. But that kind of just comes with the territory.
Quality is first.
Yeah.
Quality is first. If a client is went out their way and chose you to do a job, that's an honour. You didn't want to be like leaving them going, I wish I never got him. That's be a horrible feeling.
I know.
So that's the same with me. Like I take a lot of pride in my work for that reason.
Yeah.
Like I want the client to be like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Have that finished product that they can just enjoy.
Makes sense. And what do you think is the next steps then? What's the future hold for you?
I think so. It's just going to be growth as it comes. I want to get the calendar. I want to get bigger jobs, bigger detailing jobs. Yeah. But realistically, I just have to take what comes my way at the minute. Mm-hmm. I am booked up, so I do get a wee bit of play on what jobs I'm going to do. But I want to grow the team, so I've got Jamie who's working for me just now. So I want to get him to a position where he can have a labourer.
Yep.
And then I can step away and start another team.
Yep.
Give him a van. I'll start another team with a labourer. Mm-hmm. We'll have 2 jobs going at once, which probably will be an absolute headache because it's double the tools as well. Because don't want to start a job and, can I borrow that? Can I borrow that? Do you know what I mean? It would just be a whole new, there's your laser level, there's your drills and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So 2 teams, and then I think it'll just be a snowball effect from there. Train the labour up to that position where I feel like he could run a team. Mm-hmm. And then to a point where I'm comfortable and think, right, go step off the tools a bit. Mm-hmm. And maybe have, when the bigger jobs come in, I can merge teams together to get that bigger job done quicker.
We did a lot of that.
Did you?
Aye, we did a lot of that. It was, I went through a couple of different scenarios because, so when I came off the tools, we went down this route of, like we were doing just every and any job. And then I thought, do you know what? We're just going to niche in and specialise on roof replacements only. Yeah. And so I had 2 teams of 3, and they would go and replace the roofs. So we'd have, we would start the week with like 2 roof replacements. But the thing is, like a good team of 3 will replace them in sort of like 3-4 days. Mm-hmm. Maybe a bigger roof, maybe 5 days plus. But like normally 3-4 days. So I was niching it that way where I was like full roofs. But what was happening was like the 2 teams of 3 were maybe like finished on the Thursday. Then I would have like 6 guys then on the Friday, and I'm like, where am I going to put all of them? I'm like, and for me, I'm like, oh, I've not got them next scaffolds quite up yet on the next 2, and
so you're not quite set up for it.
So then we started doing like smaller stuff, and we try and split like the 2 teams of 3 on the Friday into the 3 teams of 2.
Oh, wow.
But then we needed another van to do that.
It's just stressful, isn't it?
So then it was like, right, so then we'd then go, right, we'll have the 2 teams of 3, the Monday to Thursday, say it was, and then on the Friday they would split. But we need another van for that. So then on the lead up to that, you maybe had the 2 teams of 3, but there was actually me in a van, away pricing and sorting materials, doing whatever I'm doing. Then you've got like the 2 lead tradesmen have got a van, but then there's another van because one of those guys is going to tail off and take one of the others on the right. So you've kind of got this extra van that's not really needed 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But it's there, so you've got now 2 vans going to one job, but then on the Friday they split. And then it was just like, and that was sort of how it was going. I think it would have been too much a like a turnaround to have like be doing them full roofs and then getting the guys to actually start stripping another 2 full roofs on the Friday. Do you know, Friday you're starting to strip a new roof. Like we always think, do that on Monday.
Start fresh on a Monday.
Even though Monday's maybe not the best day for it because it's the start of the week and stuff, but it just, you know that you've got that procedure where we're starting it there. You don't want to strip somebody's roof and it's the weekend and, you know, it's maybe not been, I don't know, it should be fine anyway. You shouldn't be leaving the job and going, oh, it's got to be leaking over the weekend. So there's some of the challenges for you that will come up, mate. But
just the challenges never end, man.
But but then if you look at it now, I think we've got we'll have like 12, 13 teams out there now.
Wow.
You know, the office team. So our setup now is we've got like office manager and like sort of admin, sort of finance controller. So they lead up like the front of house. So like we're predominantly private homeowners. So it's all domestic work. So the phone rings like mad, basically. Do you know, we've got the TV ad, we've got all the social media stuff, we've got the sponsorships we do. Obviously there's loads of vans and signs everywhere, like as we're in streets doing jobs and stuff. So that phone rings a lot. So they handle all that, and then that gets passed then into our surveying team. So we do a guaranteed 1 hour arrival time slot. Surveyor goes out, visits the client, sees what they need. Sometimes
is quick a turnaround, is that? Going out and seeing a job?
No, within an hour. Sorry,
right.
no. Like so if somebody phones in, it'll probably be within a week. But we would say, look, we can get out to you. Just say it's Monday. We can get out to you on Wednesday between 9 and 10. We're in your area. Would that work? And then we give a guaranteed sort of time slot, just so that they know they're not waiting in all day. It's not like one of these companies where I asked somebody to come out and give me a quote and they just never showed up 2-3 times, but eventually they got there. So we like to think we're a wee bit different that way. We're trusted, reliable. We'll definitely
your first contact with the client. Yeah, we want it to be.
And then we've got like a scheduling team, so it then moves, you know, once that job's accepted, it goes back to finance, we get a deposit, then it goes to schedule, and they sort scaffold, skip materials, whatever's needed, put it onto they get it allocated for what team can do that job. So that might go into this guy's diary, but he's actually booked for 6 weeks because he's doing all these different jobs. If it's something that's more like maintenance, sort of smaller job, most of the team can do it. So you can just go, what's the next team that can do that? Put it in.
That's amazing, man. You've got that running like a conveyor. That's
and then the job goes to site, and then at that point the contracts manager needs to, you know, oversee that job. So they'll go out, sign the jobs off, help the guys if there's anything gone wrong as the job's gone on, maybe like materials have been short, something's happened, problems came up. So they sort of run that job to there, then get it to the end, sign it off, get scaffold done and everything like that. Goes back into finance, like the contracts managing team, they'll just say to finance, oh look, job's done, customers happy, just give them a wee extra phone just to make sure that it's okay to send their invoice and that they're happy with everything. Finance does that, and then customer will say, aye, great, that's fine, ready to pay my bill, or oh actually no, there's something not quite right there, and then it goes back to the contracts management team to say, look, actually, like the scaffold's been a mess left when the scaffold came down, can we get that tidied up? Aye, no problem, go and do that. Then the bill get paid at the end, and then ultimately you're kind of saying, look, were you happy with everything? Can you leave us a review? And then it just goes again.
Aye.
And that's the general.
That's brilliant.
It doesn't run like that all the time, obviously.
That's a dream.
But my job now is making sure that's all efficiently firing.
That's amazing.
So like we need to make sure like there's there's enough appointments for them surveyors every week, and then that they actually hit a certain amount to keep the machine alive, if that makes sense. It's no like, well, we got a job in this week, that's what. No, like we need like we've got targets now, like we need to hit a certain amount every week, and if you're not hitting it, you're in trouble, because now you've got like,
Jamie's coming for you.
well, no, I'm in trouble as well, you know, because it's if we didn't keep, it's almost like, what would be the way? It's just like by making sure all the numbers are right. Like if you're putting the right things into the machine, the right thing will come out at the end. But if, like, for example, like if the phone never rang for a month, then we'd probably be pretty screwed. Yeah, we probably would be, because it's like, it's fine, you've got like a forward order book, but like if like no company at this size can sustain like weeks and weeks and weeks of zero leads, which has never happened.
Never the case, but
you get wee droughts where like it's just sunny. And people are like not even looking at the roof.
Oh, it's the opposite for me. People, it gets sunny and everyone's like, I want my garden done.
But see when they're looking at that garden, they're not looking at the roof, unless the moss is falling off, and then they're maybe going, maybe do we get the roof done first? But it's crazy how like human perception changes in those months.
I know. Well, the worst time to phone a landscaper summer. Like phone me in the winter. I'll be there the next day.
Exactly. and that's the thing, they're looking at it in the summer, but it's like, you've got the forward order, like you're booked up.
It's easy pickings at that point. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's probably about the gist of it, mate, to be fair. What is there anything we didn't cover?
No, I think we're good actually. It was sorted.
So it's just a case of you going away and getting the heat down, and then see where you end up. It'll be interesting. I'm
still looking forward to waking up that morning with a millionaire.
Well, that's another thing as well. Like, I used to think a millionaire was like, you had your company doing £1 million, but it's actually what you keep at the bottom as well. So that's another one where you wake up one day and go, oh great, we're doing £1 million now. How much are you keeping? It's a minus. All right, so
that's one of the biggest ones. You go, wow, with that payment, and then it's gone. Crazy, the bank looks amazing one day, and the next day you're like, it's we're going to get.
But there is a wee series to it though. Like, as I was saying, it's like, see if you want to have a right go at like growing a business, it is very much, it's not a blueprint, but there is, right, you need marketing. How many leads actually come in? Then you need to convert those sales. So, right, that amount of people have phoned up asking for a quote, this amount accepted, right, great. We need to get this amount done in this amount of time with this margin. That's going to give us like, well, the customers that we've won is going to give us the turnover, and then we get those jobs done like on budget or ahead of schedule or under budget or whatever. That then gives you a margin, which is then going to, at the end of that, give you a profit. And then it's like, it's a wee machine. Like, there is a definite,
there is a formula for
machine there. The problem that you get is that you're actually in the middle of the machine. Whereas, like, I've got the benefit of being out of the machine now. So I can look at it and I can go, right, leads is at this. So I just look at reports a lot of the week and go, right, I got a daily report in that says that's how many leads came in today, that's how many sales came in today, that's how many jobs we got done today.
That's amazing.
And you can sort of, I'm not saying we've got a running day to day, that's the profit we made. We get like a monthly management accounts from the accountant. That's, so maybe 2 weeks into the following month, from the month before, they'll say, there's all the work you've done, that's how much you've made. So you've got it as a tally like that. Whereas a lot of business owners make the mistake of like just seeing their accountant once a year, and then they file their end of year accounts like 9 months, up to 9 months after that year's done. But if that's showing that you're making losses or something's not right, then it's too late, because you've just then priced another 9 months of work that you're going to be stuck in that cycle again. So you kind of need to find them things out early, but it's a process. But
I think that's what I need to get the heat down on as well. I need to get on at that. Like, what the biggest thing I need to do is actually go back at my quotes. So after I've done a job, go back and go, right, what we're looking at here. Did I price that right? Where have I overspent? Where can I cut back? The biggest one's waste. Like, you go into a garden and you look, oh, there's a wee bit of soil to come out there. And it's never a wee bit of soil. And you can never really get it right. There's no formula how to get how perfectly how many ton that is. like the garden I'm on just now, I literally thought it was going to be a grab hire. I ended up getting 3 grabs, 2 skips.
Oh no.
I mean, it was like 57 ton. Got dug out, and it was like I never ever even thought that.
That can happen with roofing as well. It's like you maybe go, well, we need 1 skip for that job, or well, we need 2, and it's like you didn't really quite need 2, but you probably need 1.5, so you kind of need to get 2. And if you try and get it totally fine and you get it wrong, then you've kind of knackered that a wee bit. But if you get it too much, then the customer's like, oh, how's there an empty skip out there? Is that, can I put like a couch in that? And so you're like, well, it is yours technically, but we actually never allowed for that skip, and it's an extra one we had to get that we didn't actually allow for. And they're like, but that's mine. And
waste is the biggest one.
Or for us, tiles as well, because you could maybe, if you want to really get it bang on, you probably want to do it and then have a wee balance. But then that means that like the last day of the job, you're kind of going, right, how many are we actually going to need exactly? And you're trying to get them to site. So it's better to have a wee bit extra. But then that means there's sometimes a wee half pallet of tiles left.
And account for breakages and stuff
again,
like that.
The client might go, oh, there's half pallet tiles there. I've paid for them. So can you take that off my bill? And you're like, no, like you've not actually paid for them. We got them over and above, but we'll need to take them back somewhere or use them on another job. That's just an efficiency thing. So you're trying to always, it's almost like you've got this sort of wee bag of money, and it's like everybody's trying to kind of steal it, and you're just like, oh. And it's like, meanwhile, you're trying to keep everybody happy and with all of that as well, because the suppliers try to get their bit, and the customer wants the absolute best deal, and then your men want paid, and you've got all these wee bits, and you're just like, I think that's just the ever-going challenge, is just keeping money in the bottom of it. But aye, what if anybody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way to get you? Is it on Instagram or
TikTok or Facebook?
Aye.
My website as well.
Aye. What's the Instagram?
Woods Garden Developments.
Aye. I was checking it out. It does look good, the page, mate.
That's the thing. I'm trying to get more of a social media presence.
Yeah. I think it's quite required now.
Aye. It's good. It's good for people to actually, it's good for building trust as well for clients. They can see how another project's coming along and where the starting point was and how it's looking now. It gives them that they can actually do that. Do you know what I mean? So
I think social media is quite hard as well, though. Like I've found it's like we put quite a lot of content out, albeit it is mostly podcast, but it's like like you just think, right, I'm putting all this content out, the following we just go through the roof, but you've got to be at it every day. It's almost like a full-time job.
You've got to reply to comments. Aye. That's one I found as well. Like if you don't reply to comments, the algorithm doesn't work.
The algorithm just shuts you down.
It's so weird. I don't understand it. Like I do not understand the algorithm.
Nah, I think it's an ever evolving, moving thing. So well, I appreciate you coming on, mate. I really enjoyed that. It takes me back a bit to the beginning of my journey, gets me all excited about it again, and then but no.
Well, it's got me looking forward to the future, to be honest.
Aye, brilliant, mate.
Thanks
I wish you all the best in the future, bud.
Thank you. Cheers, Jamie.
Well, guys, thank you for watching to the end of this episode. As always, remember to subscribe and leave a comment down below to let us know what you thought. And if you'd like to come on for a mentorship session where I can help you with your challenges in your trades business, then why not drop us a message? We'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you on the next one.